Hey there internets, I'm Michael and today on Toucan Play That Game I'm going to teach you how to play Patchwork by Mayfair Games. And let's start with how to set up the game. First thing you want to do is take the three big boards that are in the box and give the yellow one to one of the players and the green one to the other player. These will be their boards that they're building their quilts on. The other board is double-sided. It doesn't actually matter which side you use, they're both identical. But this will be your time track and you'll want to sit it in the centre of the table. Then put all the buttons in the middle of the table within reach of all players, giving each player 5 buttons to start the game with. Then take each player's time tokens and place them on the central time board at the start of the track. You'll then want to find the little square leather patches, and there are 5 of these, and place them on their spaces on the track. Next, take the 7x7 reward tile and place this near the buttons. Then all the tiles left in the box will be your quilt tiles, and you will arrange these in a circle around that central time board. Then locate the smallest tile in that circle, which is your 2x1 tile. You'll then want to place your neutral token so that it's between that and the next tile going in clockwise order. Finally, choose who your first player will be and you'll begin the game with their turn. The aim of the game is to have the most buttons at the end, and the game will end when both players have reached the centre of the time board. Now, the way in which you'll get buttons is for each button showing on your quilt. When you pass a button on the time board, you will gain income in that many buttons. And if you manage to complete a 7x7 block that has no empty spaces, you'll get an additional 7 button bonus for the end game scoring. Then at the end of the game, you will lose buttons for every empty space of quilt. So it's 2 buttons per empty space, at which point you'll just total up who has the most buttons, and the one with the most wins. On a player's turn, they have 2 options for what to do. Either they can buy one of the free tiles that's in clockwise order from the neutral token, paying the required number of buttons, and then moving a number of spaces along the time board equal to the time shown on that token. When you buy a tile, you will immediately place it on your quilt board. Now, it's perfectly allowed to turn this, rotate it and flip it however you want. However, you cannot cover up an existing tile and you cannot go over the edge of the board. Then move the neutral token to where you took the tile from. Or they can jump ahead the other player, gaining a number of buttons equal to the number of spaces they moved. So if the green player was in the lead, it's now the yellow player's turn, and they have the option to buy a tile or jump ahead. If they were to jump ahead, they would move 1, 2, 3, 4 to be in front of the green token and would gain 4 buttons for doing so. If at any point when you're moving along the time board you pass a button, you will count up the number of buttons shown on your quilt and gain that many buttons in income. If you go past one of the little square leather patches on the time board, you will take that and add it to your quilt. In Patchwork, you don't do the normal your turn, my turn, your turn, my turn. Whose turn it is determined by the time board. If you are further away from the centre of the board, then it is your turn to act. If both tokens are on the same space, then whoever is on top will go first. So it is possible to have multiple turns in a row if someone has gone further ahead than you because they took a tile that required a lot of time. You'll keep moving like this until you reach the centre of the board, at which point you can no longer act. Once the final player also reaches the centre of the board, that is then the end of the game. And you'll notice there is an income button just before you move into the centre, so you'll gain 1 final income as you move in. You'll then sum up your buttons, reducing the number by any blank spots times 2, and then whoever has the most buttons wins the game. If there is a tie, whoever reached the centre space first then wins. And that is everything you need to know for how to play Patchwork by Mayfair Games. I do hope you found this video useful and entertaining, and that you'll check out the rest of the videos on the channel, as well as subscribing to the channel and sharing it with your friends and family. And do also take a look at us on social media. You can find us on Facebook and on Twitter. And as always, thanks for watching, and bye for now.